So I was thinking of doing a new project on my Saab, and that is like Footwell lights in the front and also in the back, and therefore I bought these kinds of LED strips. You can probably find this everywhere. I bought it locally because I hate waiting for small stuff like this from the internet. And the good thing about these kinds of LEDs is that it's 12 volt, so you can hook it directly up to a battery or a 12 volt source. And these ones are also cuttable, or you can cut each of these sections here with 3 LEDs. And I don't want too much light, so I think 3 LEDs will be probably more than enough for each side. And I'm not sure if any of the 9.3s ever was delivered with light like this. I know you can get a kit from Oreo parts, but that is like with green lights and such, and it's not too cheap, and you also still need to do some installation. It's not just plug and play. So an installation like this, if you can solder and stuff, it will be very easy as well. And these LEDs also works with a dimmer, so I just bought this in case they maybe get too bright. I can dim them down, and I also hope that there's a memory function in this, because I will not have this laying around in the car, easy accessible, I think. So hope there's a memory. I have wires and such, and also thinking of just using like these wire protector things here to make the installation even more professional. But I won't start today, but you will probably see everything in the same video. So this kit actually came with these kinds of connectors that you hook up to the ends there. I'm not sure why it got 4 connectors on it, since it just goes out to a double wire plus a negative. And I wouldn't think either that they are like run in parallel or whatever you call it, because it just seems that these are the only connections between the LEDs. So I hope so I don't think it's necessary to have this 4-pin connector. So this LED strip here is actually IP44 rated, which is cool. Maybe you can mount in some other cool locations as well. It got this silicone rubberized thing on the top, you can see it here now. And it's also very flexible, so that is nice. But I will solder directly onto the boards, I think, with small wires. So I think, no, I don't think, but you need to like peel back a little bit so you can solder some wires directly onto it. So we'll just test it now to see how bright one of these sections will be. So all of the lights are finished soldering. I did it a little bit different on all of these ones. First I was using tape and trying to I taped around here to like hold the wires, because the joints here are very small, so you don't want them to separate and put too much load on them. So just using tape and like a restrainer there. But then I just moved to using heat shrink and then not take so much back at the wires, so I need to tape them so they won't short out. So yeah, it's the evolution going this way. You can see, just faster and easier to make it, and just peel back the plastic thing that is on top of the board there, as we can see. And also I just wanted to test the strength, because this will be the main sticky part or adhesive, so we'll see. So it's not too strong, but I think it's gonna hold on, of course. Now then I also just bought this fuse holder here for glass fuses. Just thinking of using a 1 amp, and then I will maybe use a big one if that's necessary, but I don't think that's necessary. 1 amp through this, and this will mainly prevent if we have a shortage, the fuse will go instead of the wires glowing and make troubles like that. So just good to take some precautions. Just one screw, then the whole panel really easily comes off. We'll see if we can find some power wires, probably using the cigarette lighter somewhere by there. So my car have actually been fitted with a telephone, so somebody have actually drawn some wires here. So I guess this here is a plus and this here is probably a ground or minus. And the way they have done it on this car, you see you have a cigarette lighter here. They've probably taken this whole piece out. You can probably take it out just opening these tabs here and slide the whole thing out. And then they have put wires to the ground and also to the power wires on that cigarette lighter. So that is how you will have to do it. But luckily on my car it was already done. So you probably will find it the easiest way is to take this out, and this here is just powered when the car is on. I think I will finish the whole set inside now and just have it ready to like wire up plus and minus, and then place the wires in the correct places, so I don't have to solder outside because that just takes more time. But for the driver side I was thinking of 1 meter and 20 centimeters of wire. So I've done that now and just solder to the main LED. So if I were to do it again, I would just make it 120 centimeters from this LED module, but not a problem. But yeah, it's really near the cigarette lighter, so 40 centimeters of wire to the LED should be more than enough for this side. Wires here are finished, and also took this like protective wrapping on them just to make the install look a little bit more professional, and also maybe making it easier to run the cables, and also for the protection, so anything won't short out. I want this installation to be solid from the start, so I don't have to go back and change things and improve on it later on. So the back ones for back seats are around 1 meter and 70 centimeters long. I haven't measured, but I think that will be more than enough for those. So now I will just be out running the cables to all of the places I'm mounting the LEDs. Then I will solder all of the LEDs to this fuse, and then just hook up this fuse wire here to the power, and also the ground to the ground in the car, which you get from the cigarette lighter, which turns on with the car. So these lights will be turned on while you're driving and when you turn your car on. Taking off the driver's side panel, it's just the same screw. Torx screw, and we should be able to take this off fairly easily. Just hooked it up to a battery, and it looks really nice, maybe a little bit too strong at the moment, but yeah, I think the result will be very nice. And it's got a little bit of a warm tint with these LEDs, which is okay. So from the driver position, of course you can't see the light, which was one of the things I wanted. And we can see it is located under here, super glued to plastic area, so it won't go anywhere. And then the cable is running through this plastic thing here, coming out back here, and then goes just straight through the center console to the other side where we have the power. So basically driver side finished. So just soldering in the dimmer switch to the power cable that is coming out of the cigarette lighter, that is just stealing power from it, and then we will take the fuse on this side, solder it on, and then to the plus side to the LEDs. Then we just have to ground it. Plus wire going down here to the dimmer switch, then it's going to the fuse, 1 amp fuse currently, so 15 watts should be more than enough. Then solder onto the right side, I mean the left side, and then also to the right side LEDs. And then also soldered ground into the dimmer switch, and then we will just ground it out somewhere on this metal, and it should work. So all of the wiring finished, the car is on, the light is on. I have to remove the panel to dim it, but it's fairly easily to remove the panel so I can dim it, but I won't really do it often. It's just maybe the first time. If it's too bright or too weak, I will maybe adjust it a little bit, but now I just have to put everything back together and put the wires into the center console. So everything is put back together, drove through some tunnels, and it looked fairly good, I would say. And you can't see the lights from the position or any wires and such, which is why I did it this way. You can get those finished kit that you can just plug into cigarette lighter, but then you will have wires going everywhere, and that looks really ugly. And there we also have a Saab 9.5 new generation. That will be my next car. So here we see without the LEDs, and unfortunately it won't turn on when I open the car, because then I would do a lot more wiring and using relays and such. So it only turns on when I have the car in the on position, because then the cigarette lighter is powered. But now we can see the LEDs, and I have to say the result is really nice, and it gives a much more premium feeling while you're driving to have those kinds of lights. So yeah, really happy with the result. So I'm very happy with the result, and I think my work was also a fairly quality work. It's much better than having like a plug-and play kit which you wire to the cigarette lighter and then have wires running all through your cabin. So I think this will look more stock or OEM, and you really have to look for the LEDs to find them. And I think the light spread also was nice, and we will see the result later, but I didn't run the back ones. I have to rethink how I'm gonna do that. I need to buy some new materials and also rethink how I'm gonna wire them to the back, because I ran into some issues with the cables being too thick, and I didn't really want to use those bigger cables because they were harder to route, and also the LED got like tension on it, so it was really hard to mount on that one plastic piece that I found under the seats. And it's not like you that it's often that I have any passengers back there that would care about those lights also, so it's mainly for my in my head to like know that I've done the job complete. But at least for now I have lights in the front. So far I'm very happy with the result, and also hope you enjoyed the video, and maybe you do this to your car. I think it has a little bit more of a premium feeling to it.